Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is the SH Figuarts Kakashi. And this is the SH Figuarts Kakashi 2.0. Now there's about a 6 to 7 year difference between these two figures, and a lot has changed over the years. At the time, the Kakashi figure was good back then, however, the quality and overall the integrity of SH Figuarts has massively improved over the past 7 years or so. It's still not perfect. There are still flawed figures like the Sakura, for example, with her shoulders. But when you see these two directly compared to each other, you're gonna see there is a huge difference between the two figures. There's some things that the first figure does better than the new figure. So when a new Naruto figure comes out, I do want to compare them side by side because I do have the whole set. And there's a really important message I want to bring to you at the end of the video, so if you could stick around to the end of that, that'd be amazing. So let's get started by comparing the differences between the two boxes. Now, I get very nostalgic when I see this box because I bought these things when these things first came out, so seeing them like this again, like, it's nostalgic. Because this is from when I got it from back then. I never rebought it or anything. But I love how on the new boxes, they show more of a window display and they show off a little bit more of the accessories that you see within, and they even print on the thing itself. And it talks about like a quality assurance sticker right here. And we also see the new Bandai Namco logo up here, which it's kind of nice to see. But then going to the side, here with the older figures, they all have this kind of motif on the side, and it says it all in English. But on this newer figure, they don't really do that much anymore. So I'm slightly in favor of this just because of nostalgia. And like the whole box has a more glossy finish on this, while this goes with more of a matte. Then going to the back, it showcases everything within, all that fun stuff. But let's just open these bad boys up and show you the differences between the figures, because that's what we really care about. And here are the two figures side by side next to each other. As you could tell, there is a huge difference in between the two figures. Now let's put the new Kakashi down and let's just focus on this older one. Now back then I thought the hair was a little bit fluffy, like it was a little too thick when it comes to strands of hair. Like I thought they'd be like thinner spikes and have more spikes in there. But overall, I thought it looked fine, especially when you compared it to like the model of how it looks in like Naruto Storm games on like PS3 and 360. Yeah, I thought it overall picked up the character pretty well. And then this is the guy she tells you not to worry about. And a lot of things change, and it's overall better. You can tell just by comparing these two next to each other, the new one seems a lot more broad. It's definitely a lot thicker, and just overall it just feels mostly a lot better. I want to say it has more realism to it for an anime character. I guess you can only add in so much realism. But I look at him and I'm like, yeah, this is what Kakashi should look like in a 3D model. Like, he actually has good shoulders, like he just seems overall just better built. But we're gonna go from top to bottom and we're gonna compare how everything is and compare which one's better or not. First up, the hair. Yeah, the hair is definitely much better on this new figure than the old one. This is how it should have looked a long time ago. And even like when you do like a full 360 with this, like you can see like how much attention has been added to the hair. It just looks overall so much better. I'm so much happier with this thing. But I noticed you can spin like his little like knot or whatever in the back of his head. You can't do that with the old figure. I didn't think it was necessary, but I think that's kind of cool how they added that. Now the one thing I will give the old figure is the look on the default face. Now this is how he's gonna look straight out of the box, and this is his neutral face, and it definitely gives off the nonchalant vibe of what Kakashi's supposed to be when he's either reading his book or not really caring too much about what people have to say. It definitely gives that more chill vibe of Kakashi. While with this, they added so many lines, it makes him look like he's just always angry and arrogant. And when he's trying to read a book, he's not looking angry, he's just trying to relax. So I will give points to this one for capturing that look a little bit better. This figure still looks great, but it doesn't capture that look at all. And I love how Kakashi actually looks like he has like real shoulders on this one in comparison to this. However, I do like how flush, like this little swirl thing, I don't know exactly what this is called, but I like how flush it is to the rest of the arm, while with this one, it kind of sticks out more. and it's definitely a lot more prominent. And also, the way that this little swivel right here is like right under his shoulder, it kind of like all blends in together, while with this, it's definitely defiant of like, hey, this is an action figure, like this is how the articulation looks, and it's just stands out a lot more in comparison to the old one. And even though I kind of like how flush it looks, this figure overall is much scrawnier in comparison to this guy. So I feel like over time, visually, this is gonna age better than this one. And even the hands, you can tell how much bigger the hands are on the new Kakashi versus the old one. And you can see overall like how many more wrinkles they added to this, because there's a decent amount of wrinkles on the old one, but the new one definitely takes it up to a new level. They definitely did a phenomenal job with this one. When it comes to the articulation with the ab crunch, I think it has mostly the same range, but it's overall much more pleasant. Never mind, it fell apart. Okay, so let me try that again. So with the way that the body itself, like the torso, is segmented, it definitely looks a little bit more elegant when he hunches over. I feel like it has mostly the same range, but the way it's segmented, it just comes off a little bit cleaner on the new one, definitely. The attention to the zipper doesn't really seem to be much different. There's no like rivets like trying to show an actual zipper line. But something I want to bring up, which I'm happy they didn't do on the new one, is here on the back of this figure, it shows like a branding type of thing like right here. And thankfully they didn't do that. Never mind, they did do it on this figure. It's just hidden a lot better. So there goes that argument, I guess. Never mind. Because, you know, legality, they have to do it for some reason. But at least they hit it a lot better on this figure, so thank you for that. And you can tell the differences in the pouches too, like even add like wrinkles to this as well. Like man, they really stepped this one up like crazy. When it comes to the hips, this little mechanism, at the time, I thought it looked fine. I thought it was gonna help with the look. But no, like milk, things age and don't go great. When it comes to the range on like how far it can split though, you're not getting that much of a wide range, but when it comes to Kakashi on 2.0, we got much more of an even split. Personally, I don't see myself doing a split with these figures, but if I felt like I had to, well, there it is. But although we think this looks fine now, I'm pretty confident over time Tamashii Nation's going to improve it even more, and then we're going to look back at this and say, ew. So don't be too harsh right now, I guess. I don't know. But it definitely does a good job of, like, hiding the insides very well, because towards the later end of the Naruto figures, especially, like, Naruto 2.0 himself, you could see the insides there, and there'd be, like, nasty gaps in there, like, just nothingness. And they tried hiding that as well with this, but, like, it's definitely a little over-engineered in this department. I feel like, range-wise, when it comes to the articulation, these two are mostly the same except for the legs. The legs can do a better split on the new figure. But when it comes to range and movement, it's mostly the same. So there's not too much improvement on there, but that's fine. He moved pretty well already. It's more of a aesthetic thing now. And they definitely improved a lot more on the new figure. But when it came to changing the heads, because you can make him move his headband up and like show off the Sharingan and stuff like that, the way swapping the heads was on the old figure was very, very annoying, and I'm very happy that they changed it massively. So let me pull out the older figure. So if you want to swap out the head to have the Sharingan showing off, first up you gotta take this head off to make it a little bit easier for you. But you have to take off his hair. You gotta make Kakashi bald. This is where over-engineering kind of gets annoying. And simpler is mostly better. So we gotta take off this face as well to help a little bit. But when you pull this off, we're not even gonna pull off the face. We're just gonna worry about this. This is on a double ball hinge, okay? So trying to get this very tiny peg to fit onto the new face, it gets annoying sometimes because you go to push it in, and then the hinge will just try to move on you as you try to push it in, so it becomes more of a hassle than it needs to be. And go to push it in, and then, like I said, it just tries to give in on itself and give you a hard time. Try to line it up. There we go. So, definitely overcomplicated on this part. And then we gotta put his face back on now that we're done doing that part. And then put on the hair, the toupee, and now Kakashi is ready to fight with his Sharingan. Yay! But when it comes to the new figure, it's a lot simpler. It's just a whole another head. I mean, the faces still come out, so you can still swap out different faces and stuff like that, so it could be a little bit cheaper. But it's not with a double ball hinge or anything. You just pull this off and it's just a simple ball peg. I'd still recommend taking off the face just so you have a little bit better aim on trying to get this thing in. Okay, but be careful though, don't try and like warp or crush the spikes or anything. Alright, so now that that's back on, we just line up the face and slide it up in there. And bing bada boom, we got a battle ready Kakashi. Now if we compare these two again, it definitely looks a lot better on the newer figure. I feel like this would be like 18-year-old Kakashi, and this would be like 25-year-old Kakashi. Like, there is quite the difference between these two. But the biggest difference between these two is the accessories, and I feel like that's where it gets a little controversial between these two. Now, if we move these two figures aside, let's pull out both of their little accessory trays. Now, this is going to be the old figure, this is going to be the new. As you can tell, we definitely have a lot more faces and a lot more hands to play with, but unfortunately, Kakashi is missing some very fundamental accessories, like these kunai and hands to hold those kunai. And with the old Kakashi, it came with this little water spike ball looking thing, which I didn't really like back then, but now we get absolutely nothing for his effects. I feel when it comes to the new Kakashi, he does look great, and he poses very well, and looks even better than the old one when he's looking dynamic. However, without him having his necessary ninja tools or ninja moves, how can you put him in an action pose when none of his stuff is there? Action figures need action, and all he can do is pose. He can pretend that he's doing something. Like, sure, you could bring out the Sasuke Chidori and give that Kakashi to make it look like his lightning blade, but it's like, imagine having multiple Naruto figures and only having like one Rasengan. Why? So this is where I still believe that Tamashii Nation still isn't perfect when it comes to making these figures. They've gotten a lot better when it comes to their quality, but there are still things that disappoint me about Tamashii Nations. And I love how you can tell the difference in proportions when it comes to these figures, because if you just compare the books to each other, like, that's in the same hand. That is not trying to make one look bigger than the other. Like, that is crazy. It's also silly how, like, one cover is on the Japanese side and the other cover is on more the, like, any other Western side. And both of them don't have anything on the insides. But I feel like there's definitely, like, more detail to, like, the pages and stuff, like, individually. And it looks like it's more of a thicker book, so this one's really nice. And with this new figure, it's also not exclusive to just that one hand. You can do it on either one. And with this new Kakashi, we have not only the regular Sharingan, but we also have the Mangekyo Sharingan. But in pictures, you can tell the difference and it looks great. However, when you look at it from the naked eye, I don't know if it's because I need a new prescription glasses or what it is, because it's so tiny, that detail, that it's kind of hard to tell without the proper lighting and having it so close to your face, or we're having a camera or something. It's hard to tell, but I absolutely love, like, this face so much. I wish more figures came with faces like that. When it comes to the kunai and the kunai hands, technically, you can put these hands on the new Kakashi, but because things are proportioned a little bit differently, from what I noticed on my figure, it doesn't seem to hold in very well. It'll be good for a picture and might look good on your shelf. However, when you do try to rearrange it and play with it a little bit, it definitely doesn't hold in. So fair warning on that if you either have both figures already or you plan on picking up the old figure specifically to do that. So when it comes to comparing these two, when it comes to accessories, I feel the older figure definitely gets it right by including the kunai, because I feel like every Naruto figure should have a kunai, and at least attempting to having some type of effect part. This one definitely has a lot more to go for it when it comes to trying to pull off different action poses and giving you more variety on how he's supposed to look. Which brings me to what I wanted to bring up towards the beginning of this video, you can tell there is a huge difference, and there are pros and cons to having both. But for those who are probably wondering, should I pick up the older figures if I don't have them already because they're trying to relaunch this line, I say no. I say try to avoid the old ones if you can. The only reason I would recommend going for the older figures is maybe getting those additional accessories, but more importantly, trying to have the absolute complete line. Now, me, although I'm going for the full line because I'm a psychopath, I would try to be more casual with it, where I want to have just one of every character. I've been collecting them since the beginning, and that's why I still hold on to them. But if I didn't have the figures earlier, I would honestly just wait for the newer figures to come out, because if they ever make a Rock Lee, I am really excited to show you how annoying the old figure can be. And I'm excited to see how much more improvement that we can see based on the older characters. Because I like how they seem to be tackling it so far, where they try to redo a couple of them and then give us one or two new ones to supplement, like, feeding both audiences. Right now we have a new Madara coming out, which is just a reprint of the old one, just in a chrome paint and a better face paint. But besides that, when it comes to every other character coming in the line, I'd say wait on it. As much as you'd want to have that full character roster right now, you're better off waiting. You'll save a lot more money and you'll get an overall much better figure. But knowing that other characters like Itachi, Jiraiya, Rock Lee, Gaara, and what have you is also out there, I know you definitely want them, but give it time. It's gonna take a lot of time, but give it time. They're gonna probably come out with much better figures. Because if we're gonna be getting this much of a night and day difference between the two Kakashis, imagine how much better the other characters are gonna look. And that's overall what I have to say about these two. If you want to see more videos like this wherever a new Naruto figure comes out, I'd be more than happy to compare the two. And that's all I mostly have to say. So if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. But for those who have been watching my videos for a while and seeing multiple reviews and stuff from me, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this new format? Because I kind of want to go with this moving forward. Like, I want to do this and then unboxings, and do my regular reviews be just a YouTube short so I can get my opinion out there without having to have my tripod and camera and my giant ring light and only being 5'4" and trying to wrap everything around and try to do it comfortably. It's not a fun time. It kind of sucks. But doing something like this is really nice. But like I said, that's it for the video. If you knew and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's my social media, and subscribe if you want to see some more Naruto figure comparisons. And if there's other figure comparisons you want me to do, let me know in the comments, because if I have it, I might do it, because this is fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you guys to death, and I'll see you on the next one. So peace, peace.